I am now joined by former Super Bowl winning head coach of the New Orleans Saints, Sean Payton. Thanks for joining us, Sean.
That sounds a little...
I was just going to ask you my next question.
Thank you for having me on, but it just hit me when you said that. I'm like, and I realized that I probably have to change that on my phone. Thank you.
Well, look, my next question was, how does it feel for me to introduce you as the former head coach?
It feels unusual. It feels, it still feels raw. It feels close to like a couple weeks ago. So it's kind of in that transition stage, and that's okay.
There are rumors, obviously, that you're interested in broadcasting.
I'd like to.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
You've been courted by anyone?
A little bit.
Okay.
I think.
Yes.
I'm excited about it because, look, it's something new, and I think that feeling or that little bit of anxiety is good. And I've had a couple visits. We'll have a few more here, and then, hopefully something pans out because I'd still really want to be close to the game and be a part of it, and then be able to kind of talk smack on other teams and not worry about it, right?
Yeah, have some insider info. Have you talked to Drew Brees at all about his
Just last
experience?
night.
You did?
Last night.
What'd you guys do? Where'd you hang out?
We had dinner at Craig's. There was a group of us. And, periodically throughout the year, I've had a chance to talk to Drew. He covered a couple of games. He'd be in town. He quickly went into two areas. He went into booth and he went into studio.
What about Tony Romo? I mean, we were talking earlier about how you went to the same college.
We're all from Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, and he's had obviously an incredible career resurgence as a broadcaster. He's probably one of the most currently beloved.
Please don't tell him that. Like, honestly, seriously, it just he does a good job.
Would you ever go back to coaching?
I certainly wouldn't rule it out.
Okay.
Let's say I'm awful at this. Then be like, all right, then I've got to go do something I think I'm pretty good at.
You're open to it. And if you're not, you would go back to coaching maybe for a team that has a giant blue star as a logo?
Gosh, it was like two booths in a row here. I had 3 good years as an assistant in Dallas and got close to Jerry, and Coach Parcells brought me there, and then have been like 16 years now in New Orleans. And it wasn't until like my 8th or 9th season in New Orleans that the D word stopped coming up. I'm too good of friends with coaches on that staff, Mike McCarthy and those guys. I think that if down the road I was to coach again, I think there would be a lot more to just a place that you were familiar with, and it could be a number of teams.
Why don't you tell me about your partnership with Zebra Technology?
For the last 8 years, the NFL has tracked players on the fields. We get information as to when they're on the field, how fast they're going. So when you see the next-gen stat that someone's going 20 miles an hour, that's coming from that's coming from this little chip. So we kind of put this in the shoulder pad. Yeah, that gives us information as to when you're on the field, how long you're on the field, how fast you're running. And so what do we do with that? We can monitor soft tissue injuries during training camp. We can save ourselves a lot of time not having to watch like every play to realize where an opponent might be lined up.
Mm-hmm.
How many times is Cooper Kupp in the slot? How many times is he lined up outside? They're using it next year in the HBCU legacy game. So when we're wanting to scout a player, we can actually punch in his code, and every play that he's played we can watch.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.